Hi everyone. So for today, I will explain for soil bearing capacity. Okay, before you can design for pad footing, reinforced RC pad footing, you have to know the axial load, which is NET or N3, labeled as an N3 from my previous note. And then the most important thing, for you to know the safe bearing capacity or soil bearing capacity. This is the value for 150 here is by default value from example, but then for your project you have to know or calculate from the SI report. Okay, this is my note. Okay, you have course outcomes, program outcomes, the learning outcomes. Okay, I start with SI report. So for the SI report, a site investigation simply is the process of the collection of information, the appraisal of data, assessment and reporting, without which the hazards in the ground beneath the site cannot be known. SI report scope from the JKR. So I share with you now, this is what the example skop kerja penyiasatan tanah from the JKR from a project at Sabak Bernam. So you can see here the example for the scope. For example, skop kerja-kerja penyiasatan tanah SI or SI they needs borehole and then Macintosh probe. These are what the code for the guidelines, and then what BH for the borehole, and then okay, borehole number now they label as BH1, BH2 and BH3. So for your SI report, supposedly you have 3 points for you to calculate and then get the average. Okay, I just go through simply go through. Okay, this is pengukuran paras air, which is more details. Okay, for your project, I don't think so. You have all this data. So all this data, this is for your reading only. Okay, next one, method to determine the soil bearing capacity. So here, 3 methods. The first one, JKR guideline. Number 2, Terzaghi, which is I think you're familiar with. Number 3, simplified method. Okay, for now, we go for the number 1 first. Method number 1, JKR guidelines. So JKR guidelines, I think this is like standard 1 value. You see from you look at by the number of blows from your report, SI report, and then by that you can get what standard value for the bearing pressure, bearing capacity. Okay, this for tanah berpasir, and then this for tanah liat, sandy, and then by clay. For example, your SI report explain more details type of the soil, and then by that you can separately determine by what, sandy or the clay. Okay, I give here this graph, which is more details, quite details by what number of blows. They give you number of blows, and then what by the exact, what not exact, reference value for your safe bearing capacity. For example, here the highlight value 20, you will get 51.19 kilonewton per meter square. Okay, for the second method, Terzaghi formula, which I think you're familiar with Terzaghi from your previous subject. square footing. For the square footing, the formula is 1.3 C times by NC plus gamma times by D times by NQ plus 0.4 times by gamma times by B times by N gamma. So here is the value, bearing capacity factor for the Terzaghi for phi 0 until phi 50. Phi 0 until phi 50 value. Okay, next one. Here I give you an example for you for square footing for clay soil. So for example, for clay soil, the properties here, you will have the cohesion or C value, and then for friction angle, and then unit weight of soil, what more? FOS S3, and then this is the calculation. So by means that, so for example, your soil as clay, so you can see the friction angle of phi is 0. So for phi 0, if you refer back to the table, phi 0, the N gamma here is 0. So obviously this part you can cross. So the only data here by C and C, gamma, D or NQ. So this is for D, size of your pad footing. Gamma is the unit weight of sand. Okay, NQ obviously here one value, and then NC 5.7. So 5.7. But it's quite detailed here, which is you need to get the gamma and by the NC value. So if for example that your SI report doesn't give you more details, I think you can straightforward choose for method number 3. Okay, which is simplified method. The simplified method, which is the correlation between prop test and SPT and value, which is represent from Prof. Chin Foong Kee from Malaysia. So I give here the simplified calculation, which is what you have MP point, point by point number, and then penetration blow, and then N value, CU value, and bearing capacity value. So this is the formula that derived by formula Chin Foong Kee. Okay, for example, you have number of blow is 30. Okay, by this 30 value, you can get the estimated N value by times by 0.091 times by M plus 1.8. So you will get 4.53, for example. And then the estimated of shear strength is C. So by that, you will get 13.53. And then next one, I consider for QU 1.3 times by CU value, which is this value, times by NC. NC I consider by phi equal to 0. And C here is equal to 5.7. So meaning that 1.3 times by 13.53 times by 5.7, you will get 100.257 kilonewton per meter square. Okay, and then for example, you have multiple number point number 1, MP1, MP2, and MP3. So you will calculate more here to extend the table. And then since that this is the simplified method, you are advised to represent more of your data. For example, make it in Excel report. So label by MP1 until what? For example, here MP10. So each MP you will have certain depth. So please calculate or set the formula for overall depth. Depend. Maybe that at MP7 the depth may be up to 2.7 only. So please calculate and represent the data. So all the data at each depth. And then this data tabulate into by graph. So this is only by example. Okay, end of the slide. Thank you.